Today we're going to talk about Yandere Captions. At first glance, you see this aesthetically pleasing anime waifu, or husbandu. Next to it, you see a wall of text. Yet somehow, this gets most people's attention. There's a lot of things to read and see from this as a result. Something about this is so wonderful. The people who make this somehow give us a story with this very limited file of an image. Somehow that's so impressive. Here, we get a story of a jealous Yandere fiance, asking her boyfriend why he's been coming late. This jealous fiance tells him he's very suspicious, even down to very little down details. Like, she's so precise. And here the reader can imagine or feel the idea of having a Yandere fiance. For those who are wondering how the story ends, well, it turns out that the boyfriend was going with a female co-worker to see a possible home that he could purchase so he can move in with his future fiance before they get married, as clearly they have intended to have kids later down the line. But if you want to read the story for yourself, I put it in the description in the video. Here we have a really short story about a Yandere mom. It seems that the boy or person that's currently being held against her possible will isn't even their son, but maybe potentially someone who resembles him. This Yandere mom seems to be in stage 1, it seems. Her son might have been killed in a car accident, as seen in this quote. But who knows how the story truly ends. The story leaves me with more questions than answers, yet this short caption story is enough to get people's attention. I posted this in my community post. As you see, there's almost about 157 comments on this, and so many people are filled with different emotions, trying to figure out why. And that's the beauty of Yandere Caption. It doesn't have to be that long, or it doesn't have to be that short. And it can be both, actually, if I wanted to. Yet, it's enough to get people's attention. But of course, like most things in this world, some may be wondering where this Yandere Caption meme came from. And of course, I am not the most thorough research out there from 2000 something. Nah, not like MatPat, who has a full team researching all of this, but I'm just gonna give a quick hypothesis or a quick theory, as some people like to call it. But if I had to take a wild guess, it probably came from the early Yandere memes. If you don't know, there's this overly attached girlfriend memes back then, and you would recognize this bottom text. There's an image and then there's a black background with a box, and they have a joke, aka the caption. And as time went on, I feel that many people find out what Yandere was, and they made Yandere memes. And of course, from there, we got this off-board meme branch known as Yandere Captions. But like most things in this world, according to the unclarified rules of the internet, Rule 34 states that if it exists, there's probably a not safe for work version of it out there in the internet. But of course, there's a lot of not safe for work versions of these Yandere Captions that I cannot show on YouTube. In fact, there is a whole subreddit dedicated to it. But of course, off screen I've actually read them to judge the plot and the story. And to my expectation, they do a decent job at it, but it may feel most of the void for most people who want that Yandere content. But I would probably rate it like a 7 out of 10. Nothing too impressive, but nothing too low. But in my personal opinion, I prefer the safe for work version of the Yandere Captions, as the writer or memer has to fill the context a lot more better rather than resorting to not safe for work stuff instead. They're more based on the Yandere tropes, and they do a good job at it. They tend to tell a much richer story. as they're writing these in this very limited story. Now that I think about it, it kind of reminds me like Super Mario, like the original Super Mario. Despite the limitation they had, you know, the one image, this one image of Super Mario is actually a lot larger than the actual game itself. Yet they were able to make it work, and it's brought off to a good game. Oh, in the end, I just want to say thank you and goodbye.